All right, Vicky, we're live now, and I have made you the host back again.
Okay, looks good. Thank you. Do you need me to make, oh, you're a co-host. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I've made myself. No worries.
I've recorded. Okay, pause the recording. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
I'll resume it, and when the meeting starts.
Okay, and Joe, where are you calling from today?
I am in India. I stay in
Yeah,
India.
okay, so it's, I don't even want to know what time it is there. It's like
It's
ridiculous.
it's around 10 p.m.
Okay, not horrible.
Yeah, no, it's not that horrible, but yeah,
Yeah,
some.
and are you going to be working through the night or are you almost done with your shift?
So it's till 1:30 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. I so appreciate what your team is doing. I just really want to let people know. That's all.
thank you
And
very
so,
much. Thank you.
yeah. And so for today, I monitor the chat too, but feel free to put in any information that you feel is relevant. Go for it. That is great. And sometimes if you hear like background noises, you can just mute everyone. Sometimes I'll just
Yeah,
do it.
that's what I'm here for. I'll mute
Yeah.
the any noises coming from there. I'll
Yeah.
moderate the chat for you. I'll keep a track of the attendance and I'll send it to you afterwards on Slack, so you don't have to waste any time.
I can't tell you how much easier that makes our jobs. Thank you for that.
No worries. That's why I'm here for.
Okay. I'm going to
It's
go
always a
ahead.
pleasure to help.
Yes, yes, thank you. And I'll start letting folks in. Yeah, we have like another 4 minutes. And I'm curious, Joe, when did you start with Get Set Up?
So you can say that 1.5 month probably.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
not
all
that
right.
much time, but yeah.
Yeah, no, but enough time to to know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's like I'm a professional in what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know we've been growing, growing, growing. So it's been an interesting ride, let me tell you. I've
Yeah,
worked for other
absolutely.
startups too, but I think they've been doing a really a great job, just supporting guides and supporting our folks too and support. So
Yeah, it's
thank
absolutely
you.
amazing. I just love to talk to people from around the world, and that's why I chose. I've always been working for like U.S. companies or Australian companies.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love it.
Yep, and we're bringing Singapore up soon, I think.
Singapore?
Singapore, yeah, we're going to be bringing them on board too. So I don't,
That's even better.
yeah, yeah, for you, yeah, right. So it'll be interesting. It'll be fun. It's like, oh, I love it when we have people. I don't get a lot of international students. Sometimes Canada. Every once in a while, someone from India or Australia, just because the
Right.
time difference works, but not a lot. So I always get really excited when I see somebody from another country in my
Yeah,
class.
it's absolutely amazing, and Zoom has made it possible for us.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, exactly. And with Australia, the time difference really works much better. So every once in a
Yeah,
while,
it
we'll
works
get
for
some.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And so I get very excited. It's like, yay.
Yeah.
All
So you
right.
from which part?
I'm in California,
Okay,
San
okay,
Jose, Northern California. So it is
okay, okay.
about coming up on 9:30 here in the
Yeah,
morning.
yeah, I know. It's PST, right?
Yeah, yeah, you got it. So yeah, well, I have classes both in the morning and the afternoon. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of all over the place. And because I'm in California, I do a lot of classes in the afternoon. It kind of helps round out the day if people want to take classes later on towards the evening. So that I kind of bring up the rear sometimes.
That's a beautiful, what is it? Like, beautiful place. I don't know. I've seen
It
it in
is.
movies, California.
It is. We have lots of sunshine, and just the weather is, it never gets really, really hot. And it never gets really, really cold in the winter.
So it's
So
moderate. It's good for tourists. Yeah.
yeah, yep. And so I just consider myself very lucky to be able to live here.
I'm looking forward to coming to like whenever possible.
Yeah.
I would come.
Oh, yes. So there were a couple of folks in the management team who live in California, which is, so I'm hoping one day to meet them.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah, absolutely.
One day. It sounds kind of crazy, but okay. I think we're going to have folks starting in soon. So I'm going to start my video,
Yeah, you can.
and then feel free to just start the recording whenever. Here we go. Hi, Bobby. Hi, Loretta. Jim and Jan.
Good morning.
Hello, hello. We have some folks coming. One person's coming in as iPhone. Feel free to rename yourself. I hate asking people, so iPhone. And let me know if you need help renaming your screen display. I'd be happy to do it for you. Linda's renamed her iPad. Thanks for that, Linda. We have Carol. We have two Carols, Carol C and Carol F. All right, good. That helps me. Beatrice. Hi, Beatrice.
Hello, hi.
Hello, hello. There's Carol. I have Mary. I'm not sure how many folks watched the morning TV series Romper Room. Anybody? Do I have any Romper Room watchers? Yeah, okay, Loretta, yeah, Bobby. This is whenever I'm saying hi to people as you're coming in. This is what it reminds me of, you know, the Romper Room where the teacher would say, I see Bobby and I see Vicky. So, sorry, just a flashback. There's Carol, Jim, okay. Jim, are you joined by Jan today, or is it just the Jim show?
Jan's here too.
Okay, great.
Neither one of us know what we're doing, so.
Okay. I completely get it. We may have one or two people joining us. I'm just curious. There's Linda. Hi, Linda. Here she is.
I'm still muted. Okay.
There you are. Hello. How are you
Hello.
today?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Wonderful. I'm doing great. So I just have a question for the class, and you can feel free to unmute yourself. Just raise your hand, put it in the chat. How many folks have already hosted their first Zoom meeting? Anyone? Anyone? No? Okay. We're all newbies here. Got it. I'm not sure about Mary, what her experience is. So that gives me a good idea of where we're all starting. And I just wanted to give a quick introduction to Joe. Joe is with our Get Set Up support team. We love our support folks. They're amazing. Joe is going to be helping me monitor the chat. If anybody's having technical issues, let us know, please. But Joe's going to be hanging out in the background today. And he'll be putting in some interesting information if he finds anything. So I just wanted to just introduce him. And let's go ahead and get started today. So unlike the beginner Zoom class, if anybody has had the chance to take that, this class isn't as interactive. I'm signed in as the host, and there can only be one host at a time. So unfortunately today I'm going to be demonstrating how to schedule a meeting, a Zoom meeting, use some of the calendar features. So you'll be watching me as I do it. And my recommendation is after class is over, just schedule a Zoom meeting on your own, start a Zoom meeting and start practicing what we've learned. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you today. Let's go ahead and do this one. And first off, I want to welcome everyone. Hi, my name is Vicki. I'm your Get Set Up guide. I'm calling in from San Jose, California. That's in Northern California in the heart of Silicon Valley. We have a gorgeous day today here. I think it's supposed to be in the mid 80s. So a little warm for this time of year, but I'll take it. Just a little bit about me. I worked in the high-tech industry for 30 years, doing a number of different things, technical support, lots of technical training, instructional design. I have taught students from around the world. I've taught folks who are very technical, but I've also taught folks who are just really starting to dip their toes into this world of technology. And for me, being a guide with Get Set Up, it really allows me to do what I love best, and that's instruct people, it's educate folks about technology. So just a little bit about me. You know, we're a training organization here at Get Set Up. Ideally, we love it when folks have their cameras turned on. I think most everybody does, but I leave this up to you. I understand not everyone is camera ready. It just makes it more fun, but your decision. Today's class is being recorded, and if you would like a copy of the recording, you can email us at help@getsetup.io and just let them know the name of the class as well as the date of the class, and they'll send you the recording. Today, we are being joined by folks from live stream. Welcome. You can see and hear everything we're doing today, but you know, I always recommend that you go onto our getsetup.io website, sign up for a class, because that way you can fully participate with us. And as I mentioned, Get Set Up is a training organization. I'm not being paid to promote any products, any services, nothing like that. We're all about the training. We offer training classes, we offer social hours, interest groups 7 days a week. And we are now teaching from the US, India, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, and we're going to be bringing Singapore on board. So we have you covered 24/7. And for those of you who've taken my class before, you know that I always joke, if you're an insomniac and you're up wandering around at 2 in the morning, log on to Get Set Up. There will be something offering there that you can take. So a little bit about us. Also, if you've been taking classes with us, joining in social hours, you know, being part of an interest group, and you feel that you might be interested in hosting one of these interest groups or your own, maybe hosting a social hour, something you're really interested in, please let us know. We love to bring in our community members, have them share what they know, share their passion with others. So you can just send us an email, reach out to us, and let us know if you would be interested. Also, we have been making changes to our platform, to our website. We've made it a lot easier for you to, what I call share the love, or we call it share the learning. If you register, when you're registering for a class, you'll note that we have these new buttons here where you can tell friends about a class, or you can share on Facebook, or email people. We make it very easy to share information about our classes with others. So if you're really enjoying what you're learning here, tell others about it, please. What are we going to learn today? We're going to talk about, first of all, how do you host a Zoom meeting? I'm going to show you how you can start up what we call an instant Zoom meeting, but also how you can schedule a meeting for the future. I'm also going to show you how you can work with a calendaring feature, and then how you're going to invite others to your Zoom meeting that you've scheduled. And also, if you have any questions, please feel free to just unmute yourself, ask away, or feel free to put your questions in the chat. I want to make this as interactive as possible. I think most of us they have not hosted a meeting yet, Nix. And let's first talk about our requirements for hosting a meeting. So if you've been joining meetings as a participant, you have not had to have a Zoom account. That's not required. However, once you start hosting meetings, then you will need to get a Zoom account. You can get a free account. There are also paid accounts. And the way that you can get a log on, register for a Zoom account rather, you can go to the website zoom.us and you're going to click on plans and pricing. And actually, I'm going to open up another browser window. And what I've done is on the web today, I've just opened up my browser and gone to zoom.us. And if you click on plans and pricing, what we're showing you is a listing of all the different plans that Zoom offers. And you'll notice here's the free plan. Now, I know it says buy now. I really wish they wouldn't do that because you're not buying anything. You're just registering for a free account. But if you do register for a free account, this is what you get. You can host a meeting with up to 100 participants. I know that sounds like a lot. If you're just in a meeting, if you invite one other participant, then you have these unlimited meetings. There's no time constraint. However, once you invite 2 or more participants to your meeting, then with a free account, you have this 40-minute limit on your meeting. So again, just to reiterate, if you start up a meeting, a Zoom meeting, you host a meeting, and there's only one other participant, maybe you're a career coach and you've started up a Zoom meeting with a client, then you have an unlimited time for your meeting. But if you invite one other participant and now there are 3 of you on the call, that's when that 40-minute limit kicks in. So if you think that you're going to be hosting Zoom meetings with a group of participants and you're going to need to have that meeting go longer than 40 minutes, you'll need to purchase one of these licensed accounts, these paid accounts. And there are a number of them. They have different features. And so I just wanted to make sure that people understood the difference between the different accounts. Anybody have any questions so far on purchasing, registering for an account, a free account? Just stop and let me know. And by the way, I have 2 monitors, so I have different things on different monitors. So when you see me, moving my head back and forth, that's why. So let's start by, now that we've talked about accounts, what I wanted to do was show you how to start a Zoom meeting. Now, most people think that in order to start a Zoom meeting, you have to schedule one for the future. And actually you don't. You can start up one of these, Zoom calls them an instant meeting. So for example, maybe you're working with a colleague or someone and you're over the phone, you're trying to teach them how to use something on a computer application and it's not happening. You can say to them, hey, you know what, let's start up a Zoom meeting. I will share my screen and I'll show you on my computer what you need to do. Or maybe you're just talking to a friend and say, you know what, it's been so long since we've seen each other. Let's just hop on a Zoom meeting and just, say hi and catch up. So these are these instant meetings, and I want to show you how you can start them. Today, I'm working on a laptop, so I'm using what's called the browser, the web version of Zoom. Some of you may be on tablets or smartphones. You'll be working on the app, the actual Zoom app. And I've also installed the Zoom app on my desktop. You can definitely do that. I'm using the web version today just because it's easier for me as an instructor to show you everything in one place. That's the only reason. So I've opened up my browser. I'm in zoom.us. I already have an account. and I'm going to click on my account up here. I've logged in already. And what I want to show you is how you can start one of these instant meetings. And I will show you, I do have some slides that have screenshots on what it looks like if you're using the Zoom app on either a tablet or a smartphone, what it's going to look like to start a meeting using the app. But for now, let's talk about starting a meeting. And what I've done is on the web version, I've clicked on meetings over here on the left, and it brings up a list of any upcoming meetings I have, previous meetings. And there's also something here called a personal room. I'm going to select that personal room tab. So when you start a meeting, whether you're scheduling it in the future, you're starting one of these instant meetings, hang out with a friend for, a few minutes, you have the option. You can start it in one of two ways. You can start a meeting in your personal room, which means you're starting a meeting using a personal meeting ID, or you can start a meeting using a randomly generated ID. And let's talk about the difference. So when you start a Zoom meeting using your personal meeting ID, when you sign up for your Zoom account, even a free Zoom account, every single account is assigned one of these personal meeting IDs. They're unique. Everyone has a different meeting ID. They stay with your Zoom account until you cancel your account. And when you start one of these meetings in your personal room, what you're doing is you're starting a meeting using your personal meeting ID. So what happens is when you start sharing, when you're inviting others to your Zoom meeting in your personal room, there'll be a link. And this is the URL over here that I'm highlighting. This is what gets sent to them when you invite them. And this link will never change because remember that meeting ID always stays with your Zoom account. So you can send people that, friends and families, this Zoom meeting, this link, and if they will keep it and they can use it over and over and over again, the link never expires. So if you want to, maybe, your family, you're like, hey, let's just get together every Friday at 4, just do a family check-in for a bit. You can invite them, send them this link. And then every Friday at 4, you just start up one of these instant meetings. And as long as they haven't deleted the email that you sent to them, they can use this link to join in. Now, when you're starting one of these instant meetings in your personal room and you're sharing this URL, this link, you want to be careful who you share it with. I would recommend you only start up a meeting in a personal room and invite others with people that you know very well and that you trust. Because if people start abusing this link, you're going to need to work with Zoom support to try to get maybe another meeting ID. It's going to be a little bit of a process. And so when you start up a Zoom meeting in your personal room, even if you schedule a meeting in the future and you're scheduling it using your personal room or this personal meeting ID, you really are only going to invite people that you know well, because they're going to be using this link over and over again. Does anybody have any questions about this personal meeting ID?
Yes, I do. This is Salon Bettis. Now, when you said a personal meeting ID, I have a couple Zooms and I want to keep the ID, but it's, I got 2 different ones. So how do I, when I schedule another meeting time, because the dates ran out, but I want to keep that ID, like a month later, I want to keep that ID. How do I do that?
Unfortunately, the only way that's going to work is if you schedule this meeting in your personal meeting room, because that's a great lead in. Thank you for that. The next way that you can schedule a Zoom meeting, even if it's one of these instant meetings, if I come up here and click on host a meeting, you'll see that there's something like with video on, with video off. When you're scheduling a meeting like this, you're scheduling it using one of these randomly generated IDs. And what happens is when you schedule a meeting like that, when the Zoom meeting is over, when it ends, that meeting ID expires. So when you've sent out a link to others and you've invited them, which I'll show you in a moment, as soon as you the host, end the meeting, that link expires. It can no longer be used. And so that's the type of, link that you'll share with people that you don't know that well. Maybe you're, again, a career coach and you have clients that maybe you're working with for the first time. You'll want to start up a meeting or schedule a meeting using that randomly generated ID. And on the web version, on your browser version, you'll do it here by clicking on host a meeting. And so, Salon, there's just, that's the only, your two options. You can't save a meeting ID if you're scheduling it like this. So sorry about that. And again, Salon, if you're scheduling a meeting with people you know well, and you feel comfortable sharing your personal room, then if you invite them, you can set up I'll show you how to schedule a meeting that's reoccurring. You can use your personal room for that. And that meeting ID will never change. They can use the same link over and over again. So those are your two options.
So at the beginning, I have to set it up as a personal room. Okay, at the beginning when I schedule.
Yep,
okay.
I'm going to show you how to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Great
All right.
question. Thanks for that. You're welcome. Once, the other thing I wanted to show you is how do you invite others? So what you'll do is, and I'm using the web version. So down here, you'll see that there's a button that says copy the invitation. If I click on copy the invitation, this is the information that's going to be sent to them, that you're going to be sending to them via an email, or if you're, on a text, if you're on a mobile app. And here's the link, that link. Now, what you're seeing down here is some additional information regarding phone numbers. You're seeing this now because I have a paid account and it has some additional features. If you're working with a free Zoom account, you won't have these phone numbers. The package just doesn't include that. So just an FYI, but you'll at least get this information up here. Now I'm going to click on copy meeting invitation one more time. And it says right here, copy to the clipboard. And so what is happening there? It's copied that information to my device's clipboard. A clipboard is nothing more than this temporary holding space in your device's memory. You can't access the clipboard, only your device knows how to work with it. And I'm on a laptop today, so let me just bring up, there's an application that I use. It's called Notepad. It's just this really simple text editor. If I can right click on my mouse and select paste, or I can use my Control V keystroke or Command V if I'm on a Mac. And this is what it looks like when you paste it. So what you'll do is you'll click on that copy invitation button, copy the information to your clipboard. You will go into your email application, whether it's Outlook or Gmail, Yahoo Mail. You'll compose a brand new email, address it to different participants. And then in the body of the email, if you do that right click and select paste, and it also depends on the type of device you're on as well. I'm just on a laptop. You will be pasting into the body of your email this invitation. And so let me know if you have any questions. I know this tends to be a confusing point for folks. And so you'll need to separately open up your email and paste the invitation information in there. Anybody have any questions about this?
Okay, this is Salon again. I didn't see, maybe I missed it. When you are inviting someone and you want to have the dates do that now? Because I just hosted something the other day and it said reoccurring, but it didn't let me put in any dates.
Right.
And if it's a reoccurring meeting every Saturday at 3 o'clock. So have we got to that or not?
Not yet. This is one
no
of those.
problem.
Yeah, no, but thanks for that, because I'm sure people are thinking the same thing. So what I'm showing you is how to create right now this instant meeting, because people think, oh, every time I want to get on a Zoom call, I have to schedule a meeting. Actually, no, you can just start up a meeting right away, invite people, and just say, hey, let's hop on a Zoom call right now. You can text somebody or just, you don't have to schedule it in the future. So what I'm showing you is how do you start a meeting right away? Now, I just wanted to also go back to my slides because I want to show you, if for those folks who have downloaded the Zoom app, you can download it on your PC, MacBook, laptop. You can do it on your smartphone or your tablet. This is what the app looks like. And you just have different icons to do different things. So if I go to my next slide, if you're downloading the app on a PC, you'll tap or click on that new meeting icon. And what you'll be able to do is actually right before you select new meeting, there's this little down arrow button over here that I'm circling around with my purple pointer. This is where you can select this checkbox to use your personal meeting ID if you want to start one of these instant messages. If you leave it unselected, then it's going to start a new meeting with a randomly generated ID. So that's using the app. And again, if you're on a phone or a tablet, you'll tap on the new meeting ID on your app. This is the screen that you'll see next. If you want to start a meeting using that personal meeting ID, what you'll do is swipe this chooser over here to the right to turn it on, and then you'll tap on start a meeting. And if you don't swipe this chooser over here, then it will start a meeting using a randomly generated ID. And so I just wanted to show that to folks who may be using the Zoom, the app on their device, because it works just a little bit differently. All right, so let's keep going if that's okay. And again, stop me with any questions. I want to show you next, how do we schedule a meeting? Because there are a number of different options and we just need to talk about some of them. So this is, we've been talking about how do you start up one of those, quick Zoom meetings right now. What if you wanted to schedule a meeting in the future? Even if it's later on today, an hour from now, 2 days from now, a month from now. On the web version that I'm using, you'll come up here and click on schedule a meeting. And I'm clicking on that. And I have another screen that is displayed. And there are a number of things that we need to cover, we need to talk about. I'm not going to cover every single one of these because we'll just be here all day. But what I will do is in the after class notes that I'm going to be sending out to you today, you'll be receiving an email from me. I'm going to include an attachment that has a description of every single field here that is on this screen and what it's used for. So just know that you'll be getting that. So for the topic, what do you want to title this? Our Wednesday meeting. It's Wednesday today, isn't it? Is it Wednesday all day? Okay. I just, I have no idea. So every day is a Saturday. So let's just give it a topic. You can put in a detailed description if you like. Let's move down here, the when. So this is where you're going to specify the date and the time. So there's this teeny little calendar icon here. If you click on it, what it does is it brings up a calendaring feature. And there are these very, very teeny little arrows. And when you click on them, you can move back and forth between the months of the year. and you can select a particular day in the future. I'm just going to leave it at today's date. So that's how you select the day. The time, we have these little down arrows here. If you click on this little down arrow, right, like I'm doing, it gives you the different times that you can start your meeting, and then select whether it's going to be AM or PM. And so this is how you set the date and the time. And it's the same concept if you're using the app as well. Duration. So if you're on a free Zoom account, you really will, you won't have access for the hours. What you'll be able to do is set up, I know it says 45 minutes, but honestly, you know, it may, if you're setting this up with multiple participants, you'll only be able to host a meeting for 40 minutes. But if it's for, actually, I should say, if it's for one other participant, then you can set it up for over 40 minutes. So I'm just setting up the duration. My Wednesday meeting is going to be an hour and a half. For the time zone, make sure that you are setting your time zone, you the host. Zoom will take care of other people's time zones when it sends out the invite, but you just have to set the time zone for you. We're going to talk about recurring meetings in a moment. Let's talk about this meeting ID. So when you schedule a meeting, you can schedule it to use your personal meeting ID or one of these randomly generated IDs. So let me ask the class this. I'm setting up this Wednesday meeting. Let's just say it's with my book club. And there are maybe some new folks that are attending the meeting, some folks I've known for a little while. Should I be using my personal meeting to do this, or generate automatic meeting, one of these randomly generated? What do you think? Anybody?
I'd say the generate automatically.
Yeah, that's what I would go with too. Yeah.
Generated.
If this was a family meeting, I'd use my personal meeting ID, but if there's a mix of people, I'm like, I don't know everyone all that well. I'm just going to use the generate automatically. Let's talk a little bit about security. So over the past few months, over the past year, Zoom has been adding more and more security. Maybe you heard about all the Zoom bombings that went on last year. I mean, they're still going on, but Zoom has done a really good job of adding more security. So for those of you who are going to be working off of a free Zoom account, by default, passcode will be selected for you. You will not be able to deselect it. Zoom has decided that for free accounts, they're going to enforce that they must use a passcode for their meetings. However, what you can do is you can change the passcode to anything you'd like. I think there's a limit of characters. So make it something that means something to you rather than the randomly generated numbers. So if you're using the passcode, even if you can't, it'll be grayed out, you won't be able to deselect it, you can still change the value of the passcode. And this might be useful for you. Now, in addition to using the passcode, you can also enable the waiting room. And what that will do is, as your participants click on the link that you've sent them to join your meeting, if you've turned waiting room, similar to when you're sitting in the doctor's waiting room, and you will then, as a participant, you'll see a note saying, you've been placed in the waiting room. The host will let you in shortly, will admit you shortly. And as a host, whenever a participant joins the meeting and is placed in a waiting room, you'll have a little notice that pops up on your device, and then you'll see that they're waiting. Then you can tap or click on admit to admit them, or if you're not sure who they are, you can chat with them. And maybe they've joined the meeting and their name just says iPhone. You're like, I don't know who that is. You can chat with them and say, hi, iPhone, can you give me your first and last name? And then if you recognize them, you can admit them. So that's what the waiting room does. If you're working off of a paid Zoom account, you can select, do you want to use a passcode or implement the waiting room? You must select one or the other. For a free account, again, passcode will be selected for you, but as additional security, you might also want to implement the waiting room. Anybody have any questions about the waiting room or security? We're okay. All right. Just let me know. Video and audio. So this refers to the state of your video and your microphone as you're joining. So as the host, if you set this to leave it at off when you start your Zoom meeting, your video by default will be turned off, your camera will be turned off, and then you can manually turn it on. If you would like to always start a meeting with your video on, this is how you'll do it. This is how you'll set it on. The same thing for participants. As participants join your meeting, would you like them to join with their video off? Or would you like them to join with their cameras turned on? And you might want to think about who's joining your meeting. So if you know you're going to have folks who maybe aren't comfortable with technology, or maybe young children, you might want to assist them and just keep their videos or set their video, their camera to automatically be on when they join. It's one less thing for you to have to, handle during the meeting. So this is just knowing your participants. The audio, you're not going to see this for a free Zoom account, but just so that you know what it's for, if you do have one of these paid accounts, which is, I do, I have a paid account, you can set up, if people are going to be joining, can they join the audio portion using their telephone? Can they dial into a telephone number? Or can they only connect the audio portion through their computer? Or are you going to allow them to do both, give them an option? So this is good, again, with a paid account. If you think you're going to have people, maybe they're joining your meeting from their car, maybe they're joining the meeting from areas that don't have great connectivity, and they may be forced to use their phone to hear the audio portion. It's there, so I just wanted to mention it. Couple more options and then we're going to move on because I know I've been going through a lot. Sorry about that. Allow participants to join at any time. This is interesting. So as a host, if you select this, what's going to happen is you can have participants join the meeting before you, the host, have joined. Now, why would you want to use this? Maybe you've invited folks from different countries or different parts of the country, and they might want to join early to test their connectivity. Can they log in okay? Is their camera working? Do they have enough internet, bandwidth? Just so it allows them to join early and make sure that they're on the meeting. And again, it's entirely up to you. You can, by default, we've muted participants upon entry. If you have a lot of folks, a lot of participants who are going to be joining, this might be a nice thing to turn on because it can get really noisy if everyone has their audio turned on as they're joining. If it doesn't bother you, then just deselect it. Otherwise, it's a default option. It's on by default. You can just leave it. One other option that I wanted to talk about is this automatically recording meeting in the cloud. So you can record your Zoom meetings. Now, if you're going to do that, you need to let people know you're recording. If you are going to record a meeting, I would leave automatically record meeting in the cloud on, because what it will do is as you the host, start your Zoom meeting, that recording automatically starts as well at the same time. And there have been times when I've started a Zoom meeting, I knew I had to, record it, and, halfway through the meeting, I just remembered, oh no, I forgot to record my meeting. So I always keep this on if you're going to be doing any recording. I think it's a good idea. All right. I'm going to click on the save button.
This is Juanita. One quick question before we move on. What is a breakout room? And
Sure.
how
So
does that
breakout,
work?
sure, breakout rooms, we actually have a class for that, advanced Zoom class. And what it allows you to do is have almost like little mini Zoom meetings within your Zoom meeting. And you can put different participants in these little breakout rooms. They're almost like their own little Zoom meetings of their own. So you can move participants into different breakout rooms so that they can be having their own discussion maybe within the Zoom meeting. So pretty neat to do. A lot of classes, a lot of teachers use this as well, but it can be used for anything. Yeah. Let's talk about a few more things here. So I've scheduled my meeting, and I'm just going to show you once we schedule this meeting, and if I click on meetings on the left-hand panel over here, let me just show you that with the upcoming meeting, there it is. I can just start it. I'm going to click on edit because there are a few more things that I wanted to show you. Did I do this online? Yeah, I guess I did set up recurring. So we talked about setting up a recurring meeting. How do you do that? And so here I am in my Wednesday meeting. And if I click on, if I select this recurring meeting checkbox, I have some additional options that I need to pay attention to, that we need to select. So recurrence. If I click on this little drop-down menu right over here where my hand is this going to be every week? Is it going to be once, every month? Is there no particular fixed time? It will just go as, whenever I want it. Monthly, I'm going to go ahead. Let's say we're meeting once a month. This is maybe my book club meeting. We're going to meet once a month. It can be once a week, multiple times. Repeat every. So every month, am I going to have this twice a month, 3 times a month? We're just going to meet once a month in my meeting. Occurs on. This is where you have an option. So we can always say we are going to be meeting the 14th of every month. And Zoom will make sure that it sends out invites for the 14th of each month. Or you can be a little bit more, I don't want to say specific, but the other option is you can say, we're going to have this recurring meeting, and it's going to be the second Wednesday of every month. So you can specify a particular day of the month, or in this case, because I'm doing this monthly, I'm specifying which week in the month and which day of the week that we're working with. End date. You do need to specify an end date when you're working with recurring meetings. You have 2 choices. You can specify a particular date. So I'm going to click on the calendar icon here, and you can say, our last meeting is going to be in April 20th is going to be our last meeting. Or you can do it by number of occurrences. So you have up to, I believe, 20 occurrences. So you can say we're going to meet every month for the next really 20 months. And at that point, the meeting will expire, and you can simply schedule another meeting for another 20 months. So that's just how it's working. Anybody have any questions about setting up one of these recurring meetings?
Yes, this is Salon again. When I click on, I just did host a meeting just the other day, and I haven't finished it. When I click on reoccurring, the rest of my stuff, like right here, didn't show up. Did I do something wrong? You know,
So you-
like
Yeah. Salon, what device are you working on? I'm just curious.
I'm on a laptop. It
Okay.
did it before last month, but it was just that I don't know, had it updated, something had happened, but I just clicked on reoccurring, but none of the other things popped up, like the repeat in the hours or whatever.
Okay. And it's not showing. And has this meeting passed already?
No, no,
And you clicked on edit and you brought it up?
yes.
Okay.
And all it showed was reoccurring, you know, the date that I want that I had put up top.
Okay.
But I couldn't go in and put the dates because I'm tutoring this little girl, and I was just wondering because I let the date pass, and I'm like, oh man, we still got another month. And I did the last 3 months, but I forgot to extend it to May. I stopped it in April on the first one.
Because
So
it's passed. Yeah, we may have to
Yeah.
schedule a new meeting and do
yeah, I
this.
had to schedule new. Yeah, it passed
Yeah.
because I missed that date to go in and add it.
I think
Yes.
that's what's happening. Yeah.
Okay, I
Sorry
got
about
you.
that one. Great
That's
question
okay.
though. Yeah. Yeah. I had a feeling that was going to be it.
Okay, I got you. It passed.
Okay.
It did pass.
Yeah.
The tutoring haven't stopped yet. It won't stop to the end of this month, but
Okay.
the date was April the 30th, and I
Yeah.
didn't. Okay, I got you now. Yes.
All right.
I
Question? Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if I was scheduling just like a one-time only gathering of like 5 girlfriends, okay, and I've got the free account, and we go, the 5 of us are from like 1 in the afternoon, and then we know we're going to be kicked off at 1:40. Can I schedule another one at 1:50 for another 40 minutes? Is that allowed?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
break between, so you'd actually get the 40 plus without being
Yes.
charged?
Yes. So what you can do is, especially if you're going to give them, if you're starting this meeting, scheduling a meeting in your personal room, and you invite them using that link with your personal meeting ID, 40 minutes expires, you know, your call ends, you just start the meeting again, the same meeting, and they can use that same link that you emailed them. Just say, just use the same link, you know, give it a minute. Let me just start it right up again. And they use that same link, another 40 minutes.
So we don't have to schedule another meeting. We just go back to the original meeting and say, oh, okay. Oh, good. Good to know.
Kind of
Thank you.
neat. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but Vicky, don't you have to log off and then come right back on?
You do. Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
as long as
it
you know
ends.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Great point. Thanks. Yep. All right. So that is repeating. There's something else I wanted to talk about. Let me just save this for a minute so I can bring up the templates. All right. You'll see right over here, it says save as template. This is something nice to know about. So as you're scheduling your meeting, let's just say let's go back to career coach, and I have a number of clients. And let's say I schedule a meeting and I take the time to turn certain things on and off. I set it up just the way I want it. What I can do is save that meeting as a template. And then moving forward, as I schedule additional meetings, there'll be an option for me to choose from a template. And instead of going and selecting everything over and over again, I just use the template. I might change the day and the time, but all these other options that I've painstakingly gone through and turned on and off, they're saved in the template. And so I just wanted to mention that because it can save you a lot of time. And also if you want to if your client meetings are always going to be the same, using the same options, it's a really quick and dirty, save as template. And then when you schedule a meeting, there is a drop down where it says, use template, and just pick the name of that template. So that is, there you go. That's your meeting. Now, I have scheduled this meeting. I have turned things on and off, but I haven't invited anyone yet. So because I'm using the web version, what I can do is go down here and click on copy my invitation. And this is a recurring meeting. These are all the different dates that I'm going to host it on. And then I'll click on copy meeting invitation. And I'm on the PC. It's copying all of this information to my clipboard. Let me just click on cancel for a moment. I will then open up my email application. If you're on a mobile device, you can set up a text, address it to everyone, and then paste the contents of the invitation into the body of my email or my text and send it out. So just because you schedule a meeting, Zoom doesn't automatically invite people. You need to do that on your own. I just wanted to let people know. Let me go back for a moment to my slides because I want to show you, if you're working on the Zoom app, whether it's a mobile device or on your MacBook or PC, what you'll be doing is on your app, you will tap or click on the schedule icon. This brings up the schedule meeting screen. You have all the same options that I was showing you just previously, where you'll need to tap on advanced options just to get a few additional options that we covered today, because there's only so much space. I probably did this on my iPad mini or on my phone, and it's all about, space. And then when you're done scheduling your meeting, and if you want to set up a recurring meeting, there's that checkbox right there. You'll click on save, and then you've scheduled your meeting, but you're still going to need to invite people. So that's if you're using the app version of Zoom. All right. Let's keep moving. And again, let me know if you have any questions about what we've been covering. Let's schedule a new meeting here. Let's just do this for fun. I'm going to schedule a new meeting. How about, we'll call it, new. Now, new client meeting. I have a new client meeting. I'll just schedule it for today at 11. We'll just keep it simple. It's not going to be recurring. I haven't met this client before. I'm going to use my generate automatically option when I'm setting up a meeting ID. I will set up a passcode. Maybe I'll just do it, something really simple. And I'm not going to worry about all these other meeting options. Let me click on save. And I have scheduled my meeting. I've just set it up with all the different options. I want to show you how you can use these calendar features because it's really nifty. So, if you're working with an organization, they may say, hey, can you schedule a meeting and put it on the calendar? Well, this is how you can do it. So we've scheduled a meeting, and you notice when I saved my meeting, I have these calendar options here. Now I'm working on a PC. So the 3 calendar options that are available to me are Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar, or Yahoo Calendar. If you're working on a MacBook or you're working on a smartphone or an iPad, you will also see the iCalendar option, Apple's calendar. But for me, I'm working with Google, so I'm going to select Google Calendar. And what this is allowing me to do is I'll set one of my Google, I have a number of different test accounts. So let me select a Google account. And then I will allow Zoom to have access to my calendar. It's going to ask you for that. And so what I'm doing here is I am saving this scheduled meeting on my calendar. I'm going to put it on in this case, my Google Calendar. But this feature allows you to do a number of other things. So as the host, I'm going to schedule this for my Google Calendar. I'm going to put it on my calendar, but I also, and I want to see, can I make this a little bit larger? Yeah, I can. There are a number of other things that you can do here. So notification, by default, we have a notification set for 30 minutes before the meeting starts. And what a notification is, you will see when you put this on your calendar, there's a little pop-up that shows on your screen that says, you know, your your Zoom meeting will start in 30 minutes. As a host who's scheduling this, you can click on this add notification button, and you have an option to set up additional notifications. Maybe you want to set up an email notification, oh, I don't know, 2 days before the meeting starts. So maybe you've set up a meeting to start in a couple of weeks. You've scheduled this for 2 weeks out. And you're scheduling this with your client. You can set up additional notifications to keep reminding participants that the meeting is coming up. And you'll just click on add notification, and you will just select either I want to send them an email notification or I want one of these little pop-ups. So this can be like, 10 minutes. You can do it for minutes, hours, days, weeks. So adding notification to your invite. That's one thing you can do. If you scroll down here, this is the body of the invite. This is the text. You can modify this. I can say something like, please plan to attend. I don't know. You can add text. You can delete text, whatever you would like. You can, make things bold, italic. You can underline it. There's a number of different things you can do here. So you can customize the text of your invitation. What's also really nice is on this screen, you can also start inviting your participants by typing out their email addresses. So I just have a couple of test email addresses here. I've been emailing people. So what you're doing here is you're now adding email addresses to those folks that you would like to invite to your meeting that you're scheduling. So this is a really nice option because you can do everything on one screen. You don't have to copy the invite and then paste it onto a clipboard, right?
Right. Okay. So what you're saying, I like this. I don't have to go over to my email and then copy it and send it out and click on the names. I can just add, but would these names be in my, I guess they would be in my email.
Yeah.
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 Okay. All right.
It's right there.
Okay.
So
and
that's
then when I want to do, after I send the invitation out, and then I want to do a reminder, like you said, do I go back over? I could do this all at one time and it'll remind.
All at one time.
Okay.
And you click on that add notification button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's excellent. Great. Thanks.
You're welcome. And now that I've set everything up, I'm going to click on my save. So it's putting it on my calendar, but it's also asking me, do I want to send my invitation? I'm like, yes, I do want to send all my invitations out. And so there are a couple of things that are happening. I have a lot of different tests. I have to delete some of these. It puts it, this is my new client meeting. Sorry, I have to clean up some of these test ones. It puts it on my calendar right here. It also sends out emails to the participants that I specified. When a participant receives an email, it'll look very much like this, something like this, but they will also be asked, do you plan on attending? And you can click on the yes, maybe, or no. And so they'll select one of those options, and then it will ask them, would you like to put this invite on your calendar? And if they say, yes, add it to my calendar, then what will happen is the invite will appear on their calendar as well. They'll receive those notifications that you added, And then on the day that your new client meeting starts, you can just go to your calendar, open up the event, and you can actually join the Zoom meeting from here. And so I just wanted to let folks know about this because I think it's a nice workaround if you're not very comfortable doing the copy invitation and then copying and pasting. And so again, once you save your scheduled meeting, this is when the calendar options show up and you can select one of those. Anybody have a question? I know it's a lot to take in. What I always recommend is go and get your free Zoom account. You can always upgrade to a paid account. Maybe you want to start off with your free Zoom account. You can download the app, the Zoom app, if you haven't already, to your device. You can use the browser version if you're working on a PC, or you can download the Zoom app for your PC and then start creating meetings. These are just test meetings. You don't have to invite anyone. You can practice schedule a meeting, starting one of these, immediate Zoom meetings, instant Zoom meetings, and play around with the different options. And again, I'll be sending out after class notes with that attachment that explains what all of these different options are. And, I always recommend come back and take the class as many times as you wish. Request a copy of today's recording so that you can listen to it again and go through it on your own. Because these are what I've shown you today. This is what you'll need to feel comfortable doing in order to schedule a meeting. All right. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, this is Salon. I have one more. The personal meeting
Yes.
ID. What do I want to say? Can I have more than one?
No, you only get one per account.
One per account?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you can always sign up for more than one, Zoom account. I have 2 Zoom accounts. One is my
Okay.
personal Zoom account, which is the free account. And then I have another Zoom account through Get Set Up, but you can have more than one account.
But that personal account, if I want another Zoom, I can let that person use that account again. I mean,
Yeah.
I could use that account again.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, sure. Sure.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. One
I
last
thought I
thing.
noticed on the times
Yeah. Mhm.
that they only it's only available every half hour.
Let me schedule a new meeting so you can show me what you're talking about. Schedule a new meeting. Duration, is that what you're talking about here?
No, no, one up the time.
Oh, yeah, well, you can do it. All right, so
Can you edit that?
you can do whatever you want, yes.
Okay.
You can go in here. Well, actually, can you? Let me just, let's do 22. No,
Nope.
it won't let you. Look at that. I thought you could. I guess it's just you're stuck with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Huh. I guess you could. Thanks, Joel. You learn something new every day.
Vicky, could you repeat how I could request the recording, please?
Oh, of course. If you'll go into the chat, if you open up your chat, you can go to help at getsetup.io. We have it right here. Let me put it in the chat for you.
Okay.
And also in the after class notes, you'll also see the same information that, for the help it get set up. Yeah. And before I let you go, I'm just going to the Get Set Up site. And if you're interested in taking additional Zoom classes, because we have lots of them, what you can do is go onto the Get Set Up site, and where it says search guides and classes, if you simply just type out Zoom, There's a list that you can see here. I'm going to press enter to show you. These are all the different Zoom classes that we take. Some of them don't have anything to do with Zoom. I'm not sure why, but lots of Zoom classes here. So go ahead and take a look and see if there are any additional ones that you think you might want to take a look at. We have how to use the whiteboard, how to play certain games if that might be of interest. So yeah, lots of Zoom host practice sessions. That might be another one, a good one. Donna, I think, hosts that. So that's where you can practice. That might be a good follow-on. And so yeah. Let's see, I think that's the calendaring feature. So just to quickly sum up, and I've gone over today, I'm sorry, I know some of you may have to drop off for other classes. We talked about how you can start one of these instant Zoom meetings. We also talked about scheduling a meeting. And again, are you using your personal meeting ID, the general random ID, and you can set up recurring meetings or one-time meetings. And don't forget that calendaring feature, really where you can do everything all on that one screen. So really useful. I love it. And I just want to thank you for joining me today. If you really enjoy and you have any special attaboy, attagirl things that you would like to let us know about, please reach out to Liz. She works on our blog. You can always tag us if you're a social media person, or this is Liz's email address. I talked about some of the other Zoom classes and upcoming classes for me. I'm covering Google Drive, and I'm also going to be teaching a new class, Understanding Google Contacts. So those are some of my next classes coming up. Other than that, I really want to thank everyone today. I'm going to stop my share. And hopefully people are feeling a little bit more confident going forward and scheduling a Zoom meeting of your own. Yay.
Yeah.
Feel free just to practice. You don't have to invite everyone, or you might want to invite, a friend and say, would you practice with me? I just want to see what different, things do. So, rope somebody in. That's what I do when I need to practice. Other than that, again, I'll be sending out after class notes, and I just hope everyone has a great rest of the day. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was great to see everyone.
Thank you. The same to you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. It was good.
Bye. Good class. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Everyone's good to leave. Let me know if you have any